When considering books for beginning readers, it is important to understand what types of text will be most appropriate. This presentation will help you understand how to create a book which matches beginning readers' skill levels. Decodable texts focus a reader's attention on the letter-sound correspondence. A decodable text uses words with phonetically regular relationships between letters and sounds. They should be aligned with a language-specific scope and sequence of letters and sounds, and be created for a given lesson according to what the student has learned. Decodable texts are typically considered useful only during the very beginning stages of reading acquisition, when children can only read certain letters or combinations of letters. Decodable text can be considered a scaffold that supports readers as they sound out words containing letters and sounds they have learned. The theory behind this approach emphasizes the importance of letter-sound knowledge in early reading acquisition. Decodable texts will gradually increase in difficulty as children learn more letter sounds. Simple decodable stories can act as a bridge to reading more complex and rich text. However, the concept of decodable text mostly makes sense in English and not as much in other languages. Indeed, in English, only about 60% of the words are decodable. 40% have to be memorized because they do not follow regular phonetic rules. The notion of decodable might not be as useful for a language which follows regular phonic patterns, and authors should then only consider leveled readers. Moreover, the notion of decodable only makes sense in relation to a given scope and sequence, and they are usually not standardized in any given language. MoToLi Library does not address specifically the notion of decodability and focuses on level or stage of development. However, if writers want to create decodable stories in light of a specific scope and sequence, they are completely able to do so using MoToLi Library. Leveled texts are used to build vocabulary, develop comprehension skills, learn the structure of narrative or expository text, and develop fluency skills. It is very important to have books available in the classroom. It gives children the opportunity to practice their reading skills and enjoy the experience of being able to discover a story by themselves. Books provide young students with reading material that is at their reading level. An appropriate reading level is defined as material with no more than 5 unknown or new words per page. Books can be placed on a continuum of difficulty from very easy to very challenging. The level of a book in a leveling system can help a teacher determine whether that book would be an appropriate match for a reader. MoToLi Library has been set up with 4 levels of difficulty, which correspond to 4 stages of reading fluency development. 1. Aspiring reader. 2. Emergent reader. 3. Early reader. 4. Fluent reader. Aspiring readers are just beginning to grasp the basic concepts of book and print. They are learning letters and simple combinations and have the ability to recognize and name upper and lowercase letters. They are also developing many phonological awareness skills such as recognizing phonemes, syllables, and rhymes. Aspiring readers are beginning to learn sound and symbol relationships and are able to read combination consonant-vowel words, as well as a number of high-frequency words. Books at this level have strong picture support with limited text on a page, carefully controlled text with repetitive patterns, familiar concepts with controlled, repeated vocabulary, large print and wide letter spacing. Emergent readers have developed an understanding of the alphabet, phonological awareness, and early phonics. They can read a significant number of high-frequency words. They are developing a much better grasp of comprehension strategies and word decoding skills. They can recognize different types of text, particularly fiction and nonfiction, and recognize that reading has a variety of purposes. Books at this stage have increasingly more lines of print per page, more complex sentence structure, less dependency on repetitive pattern and pictures, familiar topics but greater depth. For early readers, reading is more automatic. They devote more energy to comprehension than word decoding. Readers are approaching independence in comprehending text. These readers are experiencing a greater variety of text and are able to recognize different styles and genres. Independence often varies with the type of text being read. Books at this stage have less reliance on pictures and more text per page, more pages with smaller print, more formal and descriptive language with richer vocabulary, greater variation in sentence pattern and longer sentences. Fluent readers have successfully moved from learning to read to reading to learn. Their reading is automatic and is done with expression and proper pauses. Their energy is devoted to understanding, and they have good command and use of the various comprehension strategies. These students read a wide range of text types and do so independently. They will continue to refine and develop their reading skills as they encounter more difficult reading materials. But for the most part, they are capable of improving their reading skills and selection of materials independently through increased practice. Books at this stage have more text with challenging vocabulary, less familiar, more varied topics, more complex sentences, varied writing styles with more description. Leveling criteria are designed to accurately and reliably measure text complexity to support differentiated instruction. The evaluation of reading materials should address qualitative and quantitative measures. Qualitative measures are text attributes that can only be evaluated by a human reader. These include factors such as the characteristics of the language, the content, and the vocabulary. Characteristics of the language includes sentence complexity, organization, style, and predictability. As children progress in reading skills, text difficulty should increase with more and longer sentences that are part of longer paragraphs and then part of chapters or sections. Content is an element that is not addressed in traditional readability formulas. As complexity increases, content can become more abstract, requiring the reader to utilize more cognitive strategies to understand. The words used in books for early readers should be simple and easily understood. The degree of difficulty of the vocabulary can increase in books for children with higher reading levels. Quantitative measures are statistical measurements of text. These include factors such as average sentence length, number of syllables per word, and the total number of different words. Early readers may be challenged by unusual or dense text layouts. Readability evaluation should consider these elements. In MoToLi Library software, 4 templates have been designed to create books for aspiring readers, emergent readers, early readers, and fluent readers. Each template matches quantitative criteria for each development stage by automatically setting the font size, the space between words, the space between lines, and therefore limits the numbers of words per page. MoToLi Library is designed for different types of users, and therefore we have designed a guide for each one of the user types. However, we recommend that you watch the levels preceding the type of responsibility you want to reach. The 4 training modules are 1. A guide for children, teachers, and parents who want to read books. 2. A guide for writers who want to create stories. 3. A guide for a digital library administrator who wants to create a repository of books for a community. And 4. A guide for a developer who wants to set up MoToLi Library for a new language. Now let's move on to the practical training so that you can create appropriate and interesting books. MoToLi Library will enable you to increase the choice of books accessible to a wide audience, while providing the optimum reading and educational experience for early grade primary school children.